The season is not over yet. There may have been some shaky moments in the midst of Game 2, but the New York Yankees survive, which means we are back at Yankee Stadium for a winner-take-all Yankee Red Sox game, and we are broadcasting with an extended Evan Tiki all the way until 7:25. Then you'll get the pregame show, and then you will get the game, the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. We got a lot to do over the next 5.5 hours. But, Teak, to me, I was in the building last night, great energy, great excitement. There are many moments that we will go through and certainly look ahead to tonight. But the star of the game, I even wrote it down in my scorebook. I have this little box where I write the star of the game.
Yes.
And I would like you, Tiki, to read the name in my scorebook box.
Jazz Chisholm.
Jazz Chisholm. And it isn't normal for a guy.
Great for him to be starting in Game 1. Just saying.
That was different. That was different.
Of course it was.
But think about it. He goes 0 for 3 in Game 2, yet there were two moments that were so critical. The diving play that saved a run in which the Red Sox were on the verge of taking the lead in the 7th inning, and Yoshida hits that baseball, and Jazz doesn't get an out, but he keeps it on the infield. And combine that with going from first to home in a little over 9 seconds on an RBI single, Jazz Chisholm saved the Yankee season.
You're not even talking about the 3rd inning double play that he helped turn as well.
Good call.
Jazz did a bunch in this game, and it's really what my point was yesterday when I was not upset, but whatever, just scratching my head why one of your dogs, one of your core key players is not in the lineup for Game 1 of a wild card series at home. Jazz feels to me like he is, I know the moment, I'm going to rise to the occasion. There's certain athletes that you just get that feeling for, right? You just understand that they know when the moment's bright, I'm going to shine. I want to take advantage of it. And Jazz has done that, and he did it last night, and it was awesome.
And I look back now at the hanger situation from a night earlier. For those that don't remember, Jazz was interviewed after the Game 1 loss, and he had his back to the media, and he was focusing on his locker, and he was literally rearranging the hangers in his locker. Like, he wasn't doing anything other than that.
Right.
And at the time, and I'm a Jazz guy like you are, I remember before they traded for him, my grand prediction was that's a guy who you bring to New York becomes a star.
Right.
I think he's got a world of talent. I like him as a ball player, and I like his personality. But I was very mixed about how he handled the media the night before, backs to everybody. But seeing his response and then rethinking about it, and also I have to admit Shedeur Sanders impacted me too, because Shedeur was pantomiming answers to questions. I think Jazz Chisholm is real. And there are very few guys in sports who are real. And the negative of being real is you can't lie.
No,
and when
you're
you
right.
can't lie, you're really going to show your emotions. And Jazz, as a competitor, was pissed off he didn't play in Game 1.
Yes.
We had a debate about it yesterday. We all know he's playing Game 3, so the debate is kind of over. And instead of looking into everyone's eyes and saying, yeah, I'm pissed off, Jazz was like, all right, I don't want to cause too much controversy, so I'm going to put my backs to everybody. But the most important thing is to then back it up when you get a chance to play. And the beautiful thing about baseball is you can go 0 for 3, which is what he did in this game, and still make an incredibly big impact on the base paths and with his glove. And that's a star, being able to make the impact even after being so pissed off from a night earlier.
It's interesting, Evan, because I didn't even think of it that way. The reason that he was turning his back was not to be dismissive and mocking of the media. It was because he was actually pissed off.
Yeah.
And he actually would have said something that he probably would have regretted and gotten crapped on because of his lack of professionalism. But instead, he just kind of distracted his mind, fiddled with something, had a little fidget toy that he was playing with in the back, and he turned around ultimately and came out yesterday and had the game that he had. And look, that's what you need, those type of guys on your team who, even when they're not at their best, they're still at their best.
Yeah.
Most guys, some guys, when they're not at their best, they just shrink and they fall apart and they sulk. They got their head down. They don't want to be a part of the solution. Jazz is he's just Jazz. I don't even know how to describe it.
And the other thing is, and I think the old school Yankee fans going to appreciate this, when the Yankees get eliminated in the postseason, which has happened basically every year since 2010,
Yep.
the rare years of missing the playoffs, but when you're in the playoffs, it usually ends, and the conversations are always the same. Oh, they're too all or nothing. They rely too much on the home run. They need to do the little things. Now, home runs are important. When Ben Rice hit a home run in the first inning, inning. That was pretty important.
Right.
It gave them an early 2-0 lead.
Huge.
But little things matter. And when you look at Game 2 and you look at the difference between winning and losing, here are just a couple of little things the Yankees did that the Red Sox didn't that made the difference. Number one, the Jazz Chisholm diving play, keeping that ball on the infield. You brought up the double play he turned against Alex Bregman defensively. Great play. Little play, great play. Another thing on the other end is Ceddanne Rafaela can't lay down a bunt. That's a little thing.
Yeah.
They don't execute it. The other one is Duran, who's usually a good defensive outfielder, doesn't catch a line drive that's hit right at him off the bat of Aaron Judge.
It was a hit. It was not an error.
It was a hit, but it was one of those things where it's not really a hit,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
No, you're right.
It doesn't, no Yankee fan gives a rat's patoot if it's a hit or an error. The bottom line is bat was put on ball. Good things happened because another team, not you, didn't make the play. But those little things matter. Or even Jazz Chisholm on 3-2 with 2 outs. We all know he's running from first base. He is running immediately. It takes him 9.2 seconds to score. I saw this great video from John Boy Media of the overhead view, like my favorite seat in the house, upper deck, like the all 9 as you like to call it.
Yeah.
And just watching him glide and score from first reminds you of Eno Slaughter.
Right.
That was Cardinals Red Sox, like World Series in the 40s.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it was the little thing, man.
But even before that, it was the walk.
Yes.
Right? How he got on base was just, I mean, how hard is it to take that, 97-mile-an-hour fastball right inside? I mean, it just barely missed the plate. But he took it, and that's what got him on first base. And then ultimately, give credit to Austin Wells for having a great 7-pitch at bat. And that thing was in play by an inch.
It was close, man.
It basically hit right on the inside of the line.
Yep.
And I think the reason Jazz was able to score is because it hit the wall.
Yeah.
Right? If it goes all the way back, Eaton probably gets to it quicker, and Jazz might be dead at home. But the construction of the stadium, even Yankee Stadium, helped the Yankees get the 4-3 lead and ultimately get the victory to even this series.
Now, they didn't do every little thing right. Like, for example, early in this game, Carlos Rodón on the bunt makes the bad throw, and it led to the Red Sox getting those first 2 runs of the game. But the other little thing they didn't do right, and this is the beautiful thing about baseball, when you win, history is written by the winners. So you and I spent 5 minutes talking about Jazz Chisholm. When they lose like they did in Game 1, you and I are sparring on Aaron Boone's decision to keep Max Fried in the game versus take him out. Last night, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, Aaron Boone, who I defended yesterday, damn screwed up. Because allowing Carlos Rodón to start the 7th inning, and then, after he issues a 4-pitch walk, to then say, oh, gee golly, I'm going to keep him in for another batter. That is brain-dead managing.
That's overcorrecting is what it is.
Is that, I've heard a lot of people say that today, that he was thinking about the Fried decision.
How could he not? How could he not be? He got skewered from that yesterday.
But he was right. What he did with Fried was right.
I don't think he was right.
To me,
he wanted to be extra cautious to make the right decision relative to his pitcher. Not the moment, but to his pitcher. What did his pitcher want to do? And that was a case where he struggled in the 6th. He obviously gets into the 7th, and he walks a batter. And the next thing you know, it's like, all right, here comes another one. And he walks another one. And then you're in a really tough situation. And Boone delayed. So this is the problem with evaluating managers. And I'm not by any means saying Aaron Boone should be fired. Get him out of here. I know everybody was saying that yesterday. But understanding that little nuance, I couldn't do it. I played football, but I can see it when it's wrong. I can see it when it's not completely right. And I feel like that's what Aaron Boone is struggling with. He doesn't have that pulse on the moment with each of his individual guys. It's like the whole Bill Belichick thing. Not Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, when you're coaching Lawrence Taylor and when you're coaching, I don't know, Johnny-come-lately, Joey Average, right? You coach Joey Average very hard.
Right.
LT is late to the meeting. He says, "Why'd you start the meeting without him?"
The meeting starts when LT shows
right,
up.
Exactly. So there's a pulse you got to have, and sometimes he lacks that.
Well, I think he lacked it last night. I mean, I defended the Max Fried stuff. We don't have to regurgitate it. We were on different sides. But I looked at Carlos Rodón last night after he gave up the home run to Trevor Story, which was a killer because the Yankees had just taken the lead. Now it's gone again.
Right.
Forget pitch count. We overrate pitch count too much both ways. And what I mean by that is, I say this a lot on the Rico. I get to say it now. Just because his pitch count is 83 and it's low doesn't make it an automatic he should come back out for the next inning.
Yeah.
Just like if a pitch count is 100, doesn't make it an automatic that the guy shouldn't come out for the next inning.
And that felt like the calculus.
Well, I think it was a mistake because
No, I'm disagreeing with you. That felt like what he was calculating.
No,
it's only
maybe.
82.
Maybe. Here's the thing. I don't know. I think a part of it was that you mentioned the overcorrection. Maybe it's just a lack of trust in the bullpen. Like, hey, I don't trust my bullpen so much. I'm going to squeeze out as much as I can from Rodón. But I disagreed with him to start at the 7th inning.
Yeah.
I was not alone. I watched this game with Sean. I watched this game with Big Mac. I watched this game partially with Keith. Keith was there at times. And I think we were all universal that Rodón needed to come out. But once Rodón walks, Nate Eaton on 4 pitches, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. And this is the funny part, right? I'm bringing this up now. This would be the headline if they lost the game.
Of course it would be.
But because they won, I feel like I'm shoehorning it in. But I think it's important because we always judge it more critically when you lose. This was losing managing.
Yeah.
Because to allow him to face Duran just because it's a matchup you like, he just walked the guy on 4 pitches. He's done.
Right.
It's obvious he's done.
After going to see him the inning before.
Yes. By the way, was it him? Because we're sitting so far away in the upper deck. I think it was the pitching. I don't actually think it was Boone.
Blake.
But I think it was Blake, right?
We couldn't tell.
Yeah, I don't know.
What, they came out?
Yeah.
We couldn't tell if it was Boone or Blake.
Boone.
Was it Boone?
Yes.
Dude, where we were sitting, I didn't even know Whitlock was in the game until the second inning.
But Tiki, here's why. Two things. I'm not crazy. So, A, yes, we're in the ballpark. We can't see. We're exonerated. After the game, Boone denied he went out to speak to him. So I was like, oh, must have not been Boone.
No, it was Boone.
So Boone forgot he went out to speak to him?
It definitely was Boone.
Fair enough.
I feel like the broadcast even said it was Boone.
Well, maybe the broadcast got it wrong.
Maybe.
Next break,
Possibly.
I'm looking back at the video.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Because I just took it for granted. Oh, yeah, that's Boone. And then I kind of stopped paying attention.
But either way, he shouldn't have stayed in the game. And quite frankly, think about how lucky Aaron Boone is. Think
he
about
shouldn't
this.
have come back for the 7th inning. He should have stayed in the game in the 6th. He was fine. He got through that.
Yeah.
The 7th, he should not
Should have
have.
started a clean inning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He should have come out of the game for the 7th inning, like leave the game.
Yes.
If you're going to keep him in, once he walks the leadoff hitter on 4 pitches, now it's automatic. Boone didn't do that. And think about how lucky he got. Fernando Cruz comes in, and Rafaela doesn't get a bunt down.
Yeah.
Okay, that is just pure luck.
Right, would set up the double play.
No, this is the next inning.
Oh, that's the next inning, right.
Right. Then Yoshida gets a hit that should have given the Red Sox the lead. Again, lucky because Jazz Chisholm makes a great play. And then Trevor Story misses a home run by a couple of feet.
No, I knew it wasn't going out. You know how I knew
He
it
didn't
was?
miss it, bro, by much.
You know how I knew it wasn't going out? Because yesterday when we were sitting in Party Suite 5, I was looking dead at the flags.
Right.
And what the first thing I said to you, man, the wind's blowing in today.
Oh, that's true. You did say that.
I did.
Yes.
And so as soon as he hit that thing, I was like, yeah, launch angle's a little high. This is my baseball savantish coming in. That's a little high. That one's going to get caught up a little bit. And so when Trent Grisham catches it on the warning track, I was like, yeah, I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
If I'd have went out, I'd have been pissed. But you know what I mean.
Evan was willing it out.
No, that's not.
You can follow Grisham's feet. You knew it wasn't going out. I was actually calm at that moment.
My point was it was close. Yes. Fernando Cruz, and I have no issue with his celebrations. I think that's awesome. He's excited. I mean, he was very lucky because the bunt turned into a gift.
Yes.
And then that was a just miss. My point to you is Aaron Boone came this close to screwing up game 2, and I'm telling you, if they would have lost that game yesterday.
That way,
and their offense doesn't hit enough, he's getting fired this afternoon. I don't think he would have survived it, but here's the credit. He didn't blow it. Cruz got those last few outs. Devin Williams did his job. David Bednar did his job. That was close, too.
Big double play by Williams, too.
Huge double play. Offense scratches out just enough runs, and they win the game, and history is written by the winners. But I'll tell you, as someone that defended Boone and the free handling the night before, his handling of Rodón, in my humble opinion, was horrific.
Well, no biggie. He's just got to handle a rookie and Cam Schlittler in a tired bullpen tonight in a game like this. So nothing to worry about.
Well, we got a lot to talk about concerning tonight's game. We'll get some of your thoughts from last night. 888-808-1019 is the toll-free number. And also, and we'll answer this question when we get back, I did something very sneaky last night that only a few people are aware of. I secretly recorded Sean Morash and Big Mac watching the Yankees game. And so we have some things to share. And before we go to break, I'm going to ask you a question, and we will reveal it with audio when we come back. Carlos Rodon's pitching performance. Standing ovation worthy, nice applause worthy, or boo worthy?
Well done.
Well done?
Well done. Not standing applause, but good job. Well done.
Okay. We will hear Sean Morash's reaction as Carlos Rodón walked off the mound last night. 888-808-1019.